So here I have created, if you see here, I have already created one test Spring Boot application, and in that application I have created couple of folder. So I'm just explaining one by one folder. So that com.source folder, so this is the main class. Okay, so where I have just keeping all of you know that whenever you are trying to create one application as a Spring Boot application, you have to give this annotation at the rate Spring Boot application. So this is the main class where the execution has been started. So after that I have created the controller class, domain class, repository class, service class. So controller class is basically where the control whenever we are trying to create any class as a controller class, so we should give at the REST controller. So all of you already know that I have already discussed that at the REST controller is nothing but the combination of at the controller and at the response body. So where I am just giving at the post mapping, at the get mapping, at the put mapping, whatever action you want to do, you can do it in the controller class itself. Now coming to the domain class. So domain class is basically nothing but the POJO class, that is plain old Java object class. So in the domain class, what you can do, you can create the field over there itself. So basically in the domain class you can see like that already I have given the entity. So entity means I am referring that employee class as a table. So here I have already created one table called employee, and if you want to create one dynamic table, you just need to create that table like that only. So this is the and you should keep inside the domain package itself. So that is the POJO class, that is plain old Java object class. So if you hover the entity annotation, you can see like the specify that class is an entity, annotation is applied to the entity class. So here I have already given three field, that is ID, name and city, and ID is auto generated, that's why I am using at the rate generated value, and the generation type is automatic. Okay, so there is another couple of more generation types are there, so we will learn in our next video. So here apart from ID I am giving name and city, and what I have done, I have just giving the getters and setters method. Okay, so if you want, you can add toString method, you can add hash code or equals method if you wanna use that one. If you wanna implement the serializable interface, you can use the hash code or equals method. So you can create your own hash code with this POJO class. So coming back to the repository package. So repository package is nothing but the repository nothing but the interface. So where we are just mentioning the method over there itself. So it's an interface where which is extend the JPA repository. So here we are just keeping two method. One is find all, which is finding all the details, all the employee details from the table itself, and another one is find all employee by ID. So there are a couple of methods are there for JPA repository. So I will share with you all those methods, but currently I am just using these two. One is find all and another one is find all employee by ID. So where we are just fetching the employee by particular ID itself. And then coming to the service class. So service class is basically nothing but the business logic class, where we are just keeping all the business related logic over there itself. So these are the structure basically for any simple Spring Boot application. So whenever user or end user giving any URL, hit any URL, suppose if I give an example of IRCTC, so whenever you are just typing www.irctc.com, then it should come in the controller class, because in the controller class we are just mentioning like that get mapping, so it should come in the controller class in the get mapping method. So what it will do, it will, whenever you are end user just go to the googling and searching the IRCTC and click on the particular website, so from the backend part, so it will come to the display servlet. From the display servlet it will go to the, it will first it will search the particular tag. So it will is whether it is checking whether it is get mapping or post mapping. If it is get mapping, then it will search with the get mapping at the get mapping annotation in the controller class itself. So whenever they found the at the get mapping in that particular controller class, so then they will find what is the path we are just passing over there. whether it is slash find all or whether it is slash find by id or id. So if it is matched with that exact path id, then it will go to the particular controller method itself. So from the controller method, what it will do, it will go to the service class. From the service method, all the business logic will be executing that service class. It will call to the repository class, where we are fetching all the details from the db itself. So again, from the repository to it will come back to the service class. From the service class, it will come back to the Spring Boot application, and then it will from the display servlet you will get all the details from the UI part itself. So kindly, I'm not showing the UI part, so I'm just giving you the backend code of the Spring Boot application with some database connectivity, basically the Spring Data JPA. So here I have given what I have given, I'm just giving you the overview. So I have just given one employee class and just given two fields. One is name, city, and IDs as already auto generated. So whenever you are entering the field, based on that ID will be populated over there. So apart from that, we are just fetching the employee ID by all employee ID find all method. We are just fetching the employee ID using the particular ID itself. Now, so here if you, I'm just showing you the pom.xml part. So here is a pom.xml. So let me open. Yeah, so this is a pom.xml part of that application. So if you see here, I am giving just a moment, let me show you. Yeah, I am giving here H2 database, Spring Boot H2 database. So this one, I am just showing you where I am keeping the, yeah, this one. So this one I have added. So this is for com.h2 database. So this is for group ID and this is artifact ID. So if you want for MySQL, if you need to add the MySQL group ID, artifact ID, and you need to run the build. If you want for Oracle, similarly you need to add the dependency for Oracle. You need to add if you want MongoDB. So based on the DB, you need to just change the dependency and you need to add those dependency in the pom.xml. And after that, you need to just build Maven, just do Maven clean and Maven install, so that all the build will be successfully installed in the particular project. So after that, what you need to do, I just already run the project. You just need to just right click on that employee application and you just need to run that as a Java application. So you can see here. So I'm just showing you one more time. So before that, yeah, so let me show you. So this is the employee main class. So I am running. Okay, before that I am just clearing the console and I am giving the console as big, and here run as Java application. So you see Spring Boot application has been started running over here. So started employee application, you can see right that. Okay, so now what I need to do, as I am using the H2 database, so I am not using any MySQL or Oracle. So if you want to use MySQL or Oracle, you need to download the MySQL, free Oracle. So from the Google itself. So here this is the console of H2 database. So if you want, I can give the link of the H2 database. I am running the localhost as 8080. So if you see here, so the by default Tomcat port is 8080. And also one more thing, one of the important thing I'm just telling you is the application.properties file. So here I am giving the Spring data source URL. So in the last video I have already informed that whatever the database properties, whatever the database URL, driver class, username, password is there, you need to give in the application.properties file. So we have different properties file for the different environment. For the development environment, we are just having application-dev.properties. For SIT, we are having application-sit.properties. Same for UAT, same for prod properties. So here I am just using, as it is my local in my personal laptop, I am using that one in my personal things. So I am just giving application.properties. But whenever you are using in your office work, you already get to know that, because in that existing application already that kind of properties file will be there for different environment, application -dev or application -prod or application -sit or application -uat. So in some application they are using the take properties file, or some application they are using YML file. So you can use any one of those. So you can use either .properties file as it is a text file, or you can use application -properties file in .yml file also. But that details should be the same for whether you are using, irrespective of the property text file or YML file. So you have to give the data source URL, driver class, username, password and platform, and you have to enable this one, spring.h2 console enable true. And suppose if you want to change the port number, as you know I have already used 8080, then you just need to give here server.port 8080. So you just need to give the, if you want to change it, as by default the server is running 8080 port. So if you want to change that one, you just need to change over here, and then you just run the application once more time, then it will work as expected. So these are the properties file I have already given. So now I have already showed you I am using the H2 database. So I am just giving the, this is a driver class and JDBC URL and username, and I am not giving them the password. Okay, so as it is my local and in my so in my local and in my personal laptop, so I am not giving. So this is the things for the H2 database. So once you have connected, you can see that employee table is already there with ID, name, city, indexes are already present. So let me check whether is there any record I have inserted or not. Select star from employee, the basic query. If you run that one, no rows has been inserted. So now what you can do, you can run those query. So you can run those things by using Postman or SOAP URL, anything you can use. But I'm suggesting you use the Postman, as it is the free thing, and also it's a very simple, you can easily accessible. So it's not a big problem. So you can just download the Postman. That is a free, it is a free software. You don't need to do anything. So you just need to download the Postman and just give the post, and just I am giving HTTP localhost 8080 as my port is running in 8080. And in the body, in the headers, what you need to do, you just need to mention this content -type equal to application -JSON, because as it is the JSON format. So if you want is in XML format, then you need to modify the code. Okay. So in the body, I have already informed you, so we don't need to pass ID because ID is already auto generated. We just need to pass name and city. So let me pass name and city over here. So let me pass with my name and city Kolkata. So let me pass that one. So you can see in the response we are getting ID equal to 1, because if you see here, let me open this one. If you see the controller class, so here we are returning employee.getID, means whenever you are just adding any employee, you will return the ID from the Postman itself. So now what I need to do, I just need to fetch whether just need to check whether the inserted record, the record which I have inserted is already present in the DB or not. So let me run this one. Wow, fine, it has been inserted successfully. Okay, let me try to run with another deep details. I'm trying to give my pet's name Garfield over here and city Calcutta. You can see like that, as I am returning ID, so ID is 2, because already I have inserted one record with my name. So the next record should be 2, because here if you see the code, I have already given in the domain class, so generation type dot auto, that means it will auto generate it one by one. Okay, now let me fetch with this. Excellent, you see Garfield has already inserted in the particular employee table. Now what I need to do, I need to fetch. So for fetch, as it is the get function, so you just need to change here get, and you just need the proper URL. So what is the URL? Let me check on that. So the URL should be yeah, so find all. So you just copy this one, put it here, find all and get. You don't need any body, any headers, nothing, but just keep the content type as application/JSON. Awesome. See, we got two records over here. ID 1 Sword of Kolkata, ID 2 Garfield Kolkata. So let me show you. Yeah, you can see these two records, it's already presented over here. Now there is one more operation I am doing, that is find ID by any particular ID. So let me check on that. Find ID by any particular ID. So let's check with this. Awesome. You can see, as I am checking with only one ID 1, so only my record is coming over here. I am giving ID 2. Awesome. Garfield ID is coming here. So on the last class I have already informed what is the benefit of the Spring Data JPA. As you can see here, if I go to the particular repository section, here you don't need to write the entire query. That's the difference between HQL Hibernate with JPQL. As it is JPQL, you can see right that find all employee by ID. So whenever you are keeping find all the table name by ID or by name, then it will select the query like that, select star from employee where ID equal to the dynamic ID. So if you are using Spring Data JPA, you don't need to write any native query, you don't need to write any SQL query. You just keep this method and do the business logic as you want as per your requirement, then you can execute. So the code is less, the performance is first, so that's why we are using the Spring Data JPA. If you are using any native query, then you need to give here @query a parameter and you just give select star from employee where ID equals to question mark. Then the ID you just need to pass it from that postman. So that's a very code is very complex, as well as it's a time consuming because the executance time is it is taking more execution time rather than the Spring Data JPA. So that's why you have to use this Spring Data JPA, so that you can fetch anything, you can try to connect the DB as much as possible, as early as possible. So that is the one of the important feature of Spring Data. So today we have learned the Spring Data JPA on hand example. So in the last class I have given the overview idea of Spring Data JPA, and today I have already showed you how the Spring Data JPA will work in a Spring Boot application. So if you have any doubt, any queries regarding the Spring Data JPA, you can comment in the comment box. In the next video we'll have one more exciting topic, that is the exception handler in Spring Boot application. Stay tuned, and if you like the video, please subscribe the channel and follow us. Bye bye.